Alright, here's an amazing fact. Do you know that there was a time in Usain Bolt's life whereby he didn't even know how to run? Yes, there was a time in his life that he didn't know how to run. He only knew how to crawl at some point in his life. And that is when he was actually a little child. But then he grew up and then he became one of the fastest persons, set a record during his time while he was running. What does this great insight tell us? Well, I spoke about this in my book, Becoming a Guide to Self-Development, and I tagged the chapter, The Baby Steps. You see, in your life, basically, in your journey, you cannot just start, at the top, basically. Life is like a ladder. You have to move from one step to another. So let's use Usain Bolt as a case study here. So what happened? When he was born, right, he didn't know how to run at all. Or what he knew how to do at some point. Okay, it reached a point in his life that he knew how to crawl. But then he learned how to crawl gradually. After learning how to crawl, what now happened? Well, he started learning how to walk, right? And before you know it, he was developing himself gradually. And then he now became one of the fastest runners on earth of his time. That is, humans. That's based on people that were recorded. Of course, probably there are people that are faster than him, who knows? But then, according to people that recorded of his time, he was actually fast. So, how did he grow up from not knowing how to walk at all to running? Well, there are many things that actually have to play a part in that. All of us at some point didn't even know how to walk, right? And then it then means that you can actually move on from being an amateur in something or having zero knowledge on something to actually learning how to, becoming a pro at that particular thing. And time just is what you need to actually give. I explain more about this in my book, Becoming a Guide to Self-Development. If you want a free e-copy of it, you can just send me a message and I will send it directly to you. Or I'll send you a link that you can use to get it. Now, I dived into it and I was able to break it down basically in a way that will be very, very much easy for us to understand. Because while you are a baby or while you're still coming up in that particular idea of yours or in that particular skill, there are different things that need to actually be in place for you to ensure that you end up becoming a professional at the end of the day. Just like Usain Bolt. Let's dive in small. All right. So first things you need to note is this. As a baby, right? Now, when I say baby, I mean you as an upcoming, entrepreneur or somebody that is building up in his UI UX skills or anything, or somebody that is learning a particular instrument. So we are going to call you the baby, right? And then you are aspiring to become an adult who can actually run and do other things. So now let's focus on you being a baby. Now, as a baby, one of the things that might determine your growth, your growth potential is who do you copy? Who do you copy? It matters a lot. There is this cartoon, or is it a movie? There's this children's movie when we were little. It's called The Jungle Book. And then there was this guy who grew up amongst animals, right? And then he was actually behaving like animals. He could actually swing and do some activities the way the animals do. The animals also saw him as one of them and all that. Now, it means me. I believe strongly that when you have a baby, when you have a toddler, right, and then you try a toddler with dogs, and then all the toddler knows is how dogs act and all that, and then the toddler keeps growing up gradually to watch the dogs act and all that. It's very much possible that the toddler may not even know how to run on his 2 feet, but rather he will learn how to run like a dog or act like a dog. Why is it so? Because the things that were around him were dog-like. You understand? Now, how do you apply that to your own life? This is it. It's very, very much simple. The person you copy, determines who you are going to be. So who do you copy? In learning how to walk for a baby, the baby looks up to either his mother or his father or a guardian that is actually with him or anybody at all. And then the baby sees the person doing what the baby doesn't know how to do. What do you think the baby will want to do? The baby will want to act like that particular person, right? Now that action will make the baby to now learn how to walk gradually by copying somebody. So if you want to have a particular result, you need to know who you copy. That's where mentorship actually comes in a whole lot. And you need to be very, very careful again with who you are copying. So you copy the person that is going to give you what you want. Because if you want to learn how to walk like a human, you don't copy dogs. If you want to learn how to act like humans, you don't copy apes. Who do you copy? You copy humans also that walk normally, right? So basically, you need to be careful with who you copy. Who you copy is going to determine. So you've seen somebody that has reached a particular level that you want to get to, right? Once you see that person, what do you do? Try your best to see that you emulate that person and try to know what makes that person reach where he reaches, right? You can actually get somebody also as a bad example. That is somebody that is going to where you don't want to go. You can actually do that. So number one, you need to be careful. When you are a baby, you need to be careful with who you copy. It determines your growth also. Someone like me, like an instance, me personally, I admire Russell Brunson. There are some people that I actually admire, right? And they may not actually be directly doing what I'm doing, but then I've seen them having results that I want to actually have also, or I'm aspiring to have. But then, so at times there's a particular principle that follows, So as an entrepreneur, basically, you need to actually also know who you are going to copy. It's going to help you a whole lot, right? So I copy them, and then by the virtue of copying them, right, I got more recommendations from them, of other people. And then by that way, I was able to also have more people that I was going to learn from, just from Russell Brunson only. There are different people literally, because in some of his books or some of the things he said, he has recommended some books, and then I learned them, I read them, and then it's like, oh, so this is where this guy learned, and it actually helped me also personally. So you see, I'm actually copying him, and then it's actually making me to improve. So you need to be very, very cautious with who you copy. Another thing again you need to note again is that the baby needs help, right? So babies need help basically. Babies can't do things that they want to do on their own. So when you are coming up in your career, you don't feel as though you are an island of knowledge, right? Don't negate the fact of impact of other people. It's very, very important, right? The baby needs help. So you need help also, right? As you are coming up, you need to surround yourself with people that are capable of helping you. Don't surround yourself with people that are not going to help you. And as you do so, you are going to continue to grow more and more. Well, if you want to learn more about these things, you can actually check my book out, which is Becoming a Guide to Self-Development. If you need a copy of this book, just slide to my DM. I actually summarized a guide to self-development here, and trust me, it has helped lots of people that have read it. Yeah, I have a lot of testimonies already, and I want you also among the people to testify. This is my advice for you. Take it and please don't leave it.